stop using Canva's templates. Why not make your own? Well, stay tuned and we'll talk about how to make some. Social media plays an important role in a lot of businesses, especially small businesses. It can be an impactful marketing tool if used correctly. So let's open up Canva and learn how to create some social media templates that stand out from the crowd and deliver results. I've got some great tips for you that will really help transform your social media presence. Let's get started. So step one is to choose the social media platform you're going to be using and create a design with those dimensions. Canva makes this super easy by letting you search exactly what sort of post you're looking for. So for this example, let's start with an Instagram post, which happens to be a square. Step two is identify the types of posts you want to post. Do you want to post quotes, product pictures, frequently asked questions, client testimonials, infographics, blog post announcements? There are so many types of social media posts out there. So select the top 3 or 5 that you would like to do, and that's what we're going to get started with. So once you know what types of posts you're going to make, let's go ahead and create 3 pages for each of our top 3, and we're just going to title them up here at the top. So I'm just gonna title it quote, product highlight, and client testimonial. So step number 3 is setting yourself up for brand consistency. So what do I mean by that? Well, there is a lot more to social media strategy and brand strategy than we have time for in this one video. But I do want to mention the importance of being consistent within your brand. So ideally, you want your audience to recognize your brand when they see your posts as they're scrolling through the millions of posts on their feed. If you're using Canva's pre-designed templates, then you're probably missing the mark just a little bit here because they were not designed with your brand or your voice in mind. Do they look good? Yeah. Is everyone else using them? Yeah. Can you make some yourself? Absolutely. I like to say, use the templates for inspiration, but dare to be different and make your own. The important thing to remember here, throughout all the templates that you make, you want them to be your brand. This means your fonts, your colors, your brand images, whatever all the different aspects of your brand, you want to pull them in and include them so that it's consistent from post to post. And there are some great tools in Canva that will help us do just that. I'll save the specifics of that for another video, but let's keep brand consistency at the top of our mind. So step 4, we're finally getting into the fun stuff. Let's design some templates. If you watched my last video about creating captivating text designs, you may remember one of the things I mentioned is to keep the purpose of the design in mind. So let's take a look at our first template. So the first one we have here is a quote. Everybody loves a good quote. They're easy to put together, easy to push out, and they're very shareable, which means more eyes on your posts, hopefully. I am going to start with a colored background. Sometimes when you're staring at a white page, it can feel very overwhelming, like, oh my gosh, where do I start? Well, here's a little tip for you. Sometimes changing the color from white to another color can really help kickstart the ideas. So I'm just going to go up to the top and we're going to select another color. Over here on the left, I have my brand colors already set up in my brand kit. I'll make a video on that soon, but for now, I am just going to select one of my brand colors. I'm also going to keep in mind some of the other elements of my brand that I like to include in some of my designs. So let's add a gold border. So I'm going to go to elements and I'm just going to search for gold border and see what comes up. So since we have a square here, I'm going to look and try and find a square because obviously a rectangle isn't going to fit very well on our square. So we have a square, so I'm just going to fit it to my design and I'm going to leave a little margin on the edge. I want to make sure that it's centered horizontally and vertically on my page. So there we go. Perfect. Okay, and so since this is a quote, one of the most important things is text. So let's go ahead and insert some text into our design so that we can kind of help visualize what other things we might want to include in this template. Okay, so we have some text, and going back to brand consistency, we're going to choose some fonts that I like to use across my brand. So let's pretend that this is a font that I use for my brand. So I'm gonna go ahead and use it. I'm just gonna play around with the text and get it to where I think it'll fit good with my design. And so another tip for you, if you watched the text basics video, then you will know how to use these anchor text box. So since this is in the middle of the page, however much text I add or take away, I want it to stay centered vertically in the page. So how I'm gonna do that is I'm going to go ahead and set the text box to be anchored in the middle of the text box. So that way, no matter how much text I add, it'll always stay centered. It'll add it equally at the top and the bottom. Okay, so we are getting there. This is very plain right now, but that's okay. I personally think that quote posts and templates in general should be kept very simple and basic. This allows room for personalization and variety when you're ready to use it. So for example, I might have a quote next time that's about growing or something about flowers. So by leaving the template pretty blank, I can go into the elements and have room to customize that template for that specific quote. So if this was about flowers, then I could go to elements, I could type in flowers, and I could pull, whatever flowers I wanted and add it on here. So we still used a template, but we left room for variety and personalization depending on what the actual content was. Okay, so this is a quote, and one important thing to help people know that it's a quote is to add quotation marks. So let's be sure to do that. So you want to just pick one that really speaks to you and your brand. Like, for example, I like the look of this one. It's very fun and playful, but that isn't gonna go well with my brand, because for my brand example, it's a very clean and polished kind of look. So a very playful, animated looking quotation marks may not be very consistent with my brand. So be sure to just always keep your brand in mind when you're building your templates. So the next thing I want to do is I'm just gonna add a little bit more. I'm gonna type in abstract and just kind of see what sort of elements come up and see if I feel inspired by any of them. Do they look like my brand? Can I make them work for my brand and my voice? Those are the questions that I'm asking myself while I'm looking at these elements. So I actually kind of like this watercolor grungy sort of look. I am also going to just hit Control and then the open bracket to send it backwards so that it's not sitting on top of my text. I want it to sit behind my text. And so as you can see, I'm trying to click on it and I can't get it because it's wanting to click on this border instead. So the very quick way to do that, you hit position, you hit layers, and then here you can see all your different layers. You can click on it and now I can move it around. I just want this to be very subtle in the background. I don't want it to show a whole lot. So I'm just gonna lower the transparency a little bit. And then the last thing, I think I wanna add some little sparkles or, something just to add a little bit more flair to this design. So let's change these to white because I don't think that a black sparkle is gonna have the same effect. And then I'm just gonna hit Control D to duplicate that, and I'm gonna just put it in the bottom corner just for a little bit of balance. There we go. We have a template for a quote. I would say create at least 2 to 3 variations for each type of template that you're making. So I would have 2 or 3 different quotes. So that way I have variation within my templates, but I'm still consistent within my brand. But let's move on to something else where we will use some frames and pictures and some of the other tools in Canva. And if you need a refresher on how to use frames, I do have a video teaching you how to use frames, and I will link that above. Okay, so we're just gonna scroll down, and the next one we have set as a product highlight. The purpose is to highlight whatever product or service we're selling. So in my last video, we pretended that we were a business that sold water bottles. And just to keep things simple, we're gonna keep rolling with that example. So let's think about what you might wanna see in a product highlight post. Number one is you wanna know what the product is, right? So we wanna let our audience see it. We want to maybe include the product name so that they can go find it on our website or whatever, wherever we're selling. And we may want to show the product in action to help our audience visualize using the product themselves. We may not want to include all of those things in our design, but that's just a starting point to get us going. As I said, we're going to use some frames. So let's go to our frames. I'm gonna go with a circle. I'm gonna put it right in the middle because this is a product highlight. So why not put the product right front and center in the middle, right? Okay, so I'm actually gonna go back to the frames, and this is perfect here. I'm gonna click a triangle and I'm gonna put it in the corner, and I want it to maybe go almost halfway. And then I'm just gonna duplicate that, flip it, and meet it in the middle. All right, so I'm just gonna adjust those until there's a little bit of a white line there in the middle. All right, and then I am going to click on each of those, hit Control and the open bracket to send it. I'm gonna hit it a couple times, send it all the way in the back because I want that circle to be on top. And then I want a little bit of a border around the circle. So all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hit the circle, hit Control D on my keyboard, move that one out of the way. I'm going to select the one in the back. I'm going to go up to my colors, select white, or you could go and insert a shape. Either way, it's just I had the circle frame here, so that's what I was going to do. We just want to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to do it on both sides so that it stays centered, and then I'm going to put this circle back in the middle, and as you can see, it's not really centered. So we're just gonna adjust that a little bit, make it even on all sides. And I actually want the white circle to kind of be about the same width as this little white line we have between our triangles here. So I'm just gonna scroll to photos over here, and remember we are a water bottle company, right? So we're gonna sell water bottles. So let's just search for water bottle, not these little plastic ones. We have fancy water bottles. So let's look and try and find a nice fancy water bottle. I'm just gonna double click on it so that I can drag it and kind of center it more in our circle. And then maybe we want to show our water bottle in action. We're just gonna put this here. So I'm gonna use this picture, and uh-oh, it's upside down because all we did was we took this frame and flipped it. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna click on the frame, and then we're gonna hit flip, and we're just gonna flip it vertically, and it's gonna put our picture, flip our picture. But I think because we do have 3 pictures, we have a lot of colors going on. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on this one, edit the photo. Okay, so I'm gonna go on duotone. You can just select one, and then you can change the colors here. I'm just gonna leave it there, but I'm just gonna drag it down a little bit. But now this picture has kind of like a pink tone to it. So let's be sure to add some text, and maybe some text about the features. And that's kind of hard to read actually. I am actually going to search for a glow, and you can see I have some options here. So I'm just gonna click on this first one, and I'm going to drag it down. I'm just gonna kind of put that here in the corner so that it makes it a little bit easier to read our words. Okay, so again, create several versions where you may have just one image, or maybe you want even more images than this. So just create several of things that you may use in the future. Get creative, and just remember to put your brand mood and style into your designs. So step 5 is saving your template so that you can easily use it in the future. So once you have all of your templates in here, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go up here to the top and hit share. And then here in the middle, you're gonna go down where it says brand template. If you do not see that there, that's okay. Just keep going, and you're gonna click on more, and then it should show up here. Okay, so we're just gonna click on brand template, and then you're just gonna select like a folder to put it in. Okay, I'm gonna just put it in this examples folder, and you hit publish. And there you go, you have published your brand template. And so now I'm gonna show you how to find it. So step number 6 is using your templates. And so on the home screen, you're gonna find where you saved it. But I'm just gonna go over to projects, and here I can find my examples folder, and here it is. And it says brand template across the top. So we know that that's our template. When you click on it, it's gonna pop up, and you're gonna have 2 options. You can either use this template or edit the original. If you click edit the original, you're gonna be editing the actual template. If you click use this template, it's gonna basically copy it over into a new design that you can edit and change, and it won't affect the original design. So be sure to click use this template, and it will open it up, and there you go. Thank you so much for watching. This was a requested video, so if there's ever a project or feature that you have questions on or would like to see, be sure to leave a comment below, and I'll see what I can do about it. My name is Brittany, and I create tutorials to help you step away from the cookie cutter templates that everybody else is using so that you can stand out from the crowd and create designs that are unique to you and your business. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.